What's up, friend? Welcome back to Seed and Sparrow Homestead. This video is going to be a bit more of a vlog style. It has been 2 months since I have gone to the grocery store, and it's high time I go and stock up on something. Sorry, I have a child going between my legs right now, and it's making me shake the camera. Yeah. He's down there.
And another child right here.
Yeah, and there's another child on the couch. So it is Sunday morning. We are on our way to church. My parents offered to take the kids for Matt and I today. So Matt and I have a little bit of a day date this afternoon, kid-free. So we are gonna go for lunch. And yes, child, hello. She loves to be the star. We're gonna go for lunch, and then we're gonna go to Costco, and I'm gonna bring you guys along for that. Stock up on a few things there, and then later on this week, we'll head to some of my favorite Amish stores and see what we can find there. But it's time to get the pantry restocked. So we ended up at Longhorn Steakhouse for 2 reasons. Number 1, we had a gift card, and number 2, it is a place where I know I can find something I am able to eat on my carnivore diet. So I had salmon, and I am eating sweet potatoes and asparagus. 2 things I know they always have on their menu. So we had a nice lunch together and got fueled up before we headed off shopping. So we made it to Costco. It is absolutely packed, which we kind of knew. It's a Sunday and it's one of the worst days to go, but it's just what works with our schedule. So I'm not sure how much I'm gonna be able to film in there, but we're gonna try. The first thing I see when I walk in here is roses. I'm not gonna buy any, but I'm not gonna lie and say I'm not tempted. I also found the bulb cart here. Costco knows me well. Put this right near the entrance. I've lost my husband. I don't know where he went, but we are just kind of looking for some staple items. We don't have a whole lot of time, so not a whole lot of exploring today, just getting what we actually need. So, full disclaimer, we are fairly new to Costco. This is our second time being here ever. Still figuring it all out and what the best buys are compared to other places we could shop, but we have found that they have great deals on batteries, and if you are a parent of young children, you know why we need them. Not to mention they are a great prep item as well. So we've been stocking up each time we go, and of course the greenhouse caught my eye. Not that I need one, but it was pretty and I like to dream. So they had all of their garden and seasonal stuff out. I am in the market for some planters for my medicinal herb garden, and these caught my eye. It was actually a pretty good deal. These were very large, and I liked the look of them. They didn't look really cheap. They had like a nice terracotta almost texture, but these were not in the Costco budget this trip. I am finding I have to put blinders on and stick to the plan as much as possible and the budget, but it is always fun to look. So they had lots of gloves and different gardening tools. They had lots of weed fabric, tons and tons of seeds and bulbs and plants, and I could have spent all day looking through those things. I did find a good deal on earthworm castings. These looked like they were a good buy. I just didn't need any. It was 10 pounds, I believe, for $11.69. You can't really beat that. I love adding this into my seed starting mix for some extra nutrients for the plant babies. So this is something that intrigued us, and we did end up buying. And you all know, if you've been following along with my channel, we were without power for 3 days a couple weeks back, and we are seeing some areas we'd like to be more prepared in. And one of those things was a light source, and we'd also like to try camping this year with the kiddos. So we saw this lantern, and it is solar powered as well, which is a nice feature. So that one went in the cart. One thing I'm always on the lookout for at Costco is a good organic snack option for on the go. I try my best to make as much as I can from scratch, homemade, but it's nice for some convenience to throw these into the diaper bag and have a good snack for the kids when we're on the road. These just kind of jumped into the cart. Eleanor loves squishmallows, so this was just a treat for her. We couldn't resist. I do like to go through and check the prices on the produce, at least for the things that we consume, to see if it would be a better deal here rather than from the Amish. But those sweet potatoes were way expensive compared to what I could get locally at our Amish auction. Now, like I have said in the past, I try to make everything from scratch the best I can, but I also allow myself some convenience items so I don't stress myself out. I do try to source organic when possible, so I went to look through all of the chips, and these tortilla chips, while they aren't the greatest option, they also aren't the worst, and they were the best option I have found available to me. Siete is honestly a brand I love, and I wish they would have had their tortilla chips there, but they didn't. They did have these tortillas, though, that are gluten-free, so I bought 2 of them to allow myself some like breakfast burritos in the morning every once in a while. Costco has been the most reasonable on organic carrots compared to everywhere else I shop, and until I can grow some again, this is where I have been purchasing them. On to something super exciting, toilet paper and paper towels. Costco seems to have the best price. I used to get these at one of our Amish stores, but their prices have not been great as of late, so I started buying them here at Costco. I try to keep my blinders on in the freezer sections, but there is a few things I do like to have on hand, and one of those is like a chicken nugget type thing. These were the best option that they had there, and it's also the best option I could find between that and Walmart and the Amish stores, so we went with these, and we're going to see how the kiddos like them. But if you know a better option at Costco and I just missed it, go ahead and drop it down in the comments, let me know. My kids also love the Baby Bell cheese, and this price is way better than what you would find at Walmart. So we grabbed one of these for the babies. Now you all know I love my butter, and I usually buy Kerrygold, but this was a really good deal. We're going to try the Kirkland brand. I've heard good things about it, and it says it is grass-fed, so we'll see how we like it. But compared to the Kerrygold price, $4.50 difference, I figured we'd give it a shot and see if it's comparable in flavor. These oats are where it's at. They're glyphosate-free, really important when you're looking for any sort of oat product. They're also sprouted, easier to digest, and I think the flavor is so much better than any of the other oats that you can buy. So I've been picking up one of these each time we go to Costco. I prefer to use raw honey when I am baking, so I did pick up one of these, although I like to source locally for things like my tea or just to take like a spoonful or 2 a day. We have really been enjoying the Kirkland organic maple syrup. We got some last time. I'm going to pick it up again. This is the best price I have been able to find in our area, so we've been stocking up on it every time we come. This is something I am so excited that we found. Last time, they only had one on the shelf. This time it was stocked full, and this is such a great deal on organic flour. $9 per 10 pounds is really good. Another thing that I have found a better deal at Costco is their organic olive oil. So I get one of these jugs every time I'm here. Another great thing to purchase at Costco is the dried fruit. They have a huge selection. Most all of it is sugar-free, and they have a lot of organic options as well. Grant loves the dried figs and the mangoes, so I like to pick some of these up for a nice snack to go on their little snack plates. I also love to pick up some of their parchment paper here. This is a great deal. I use it all the time when I'm baking. And that was the last thing on my grocery list. I find that if you actually want to save money at Costco and have it be worth it, you have to put the blinders on, you have to stick to your list, and it is best to go when you have a full stomach. So it's been a few days since Matt and I went to Costco, and I've got my Eleanor with me back there, and we are going to have a mommy-daughter date. We're going to the Amish store. We're also going to go to the auction and maybe another Amish store if we have time. So I'm going to take you guys inside. I'm going to be respectful and make sure not to get anyone in the video. So I'm probably just going to take some video of what they have to offer, and then we'll do a voiceover later. So apparently I chose the absolute worst day to take video in here because all of the Amish were out and all of the shelves were being stocked, so I got really short clips of everything. So this is where I usually get my raw milk and my raw cheese. It's supplied by a local Amish farm, so I always grab this up. I do have some other sources, but this one is the closest to me and most convenient. They usually have some pretty good deals on bulk cheese, shredded cheese, like blocks of cheese. If you have like a deli slicer at home, they usually sell like the full rolls of cheese as well. I've never taken advantage of that, but I do sometimes buy some of their bulk cheese and then freeze dry it. I used to buy this pancake mix before I started making my own, but one day I realized there's some bioengineered foods in there, so I no longer do that. I just make my own. I do buy my baking powder and baking soda here, much better price than at the store, and they do have a good selection of flour, a lot of organic flours, some different flours as well, like spelt and einkorn, buckwheat. I've even seen emmer here on occasion. They don't always have that, but I don't honestly buy a whole lot of my flour here anymore. I will in a pinch, but I have found much better deals at other stores, and now that I can get the organic stuff at Costco, that's been my go-to, and then I've been buying all of my wheat berries online. I did want to stock up on some blackstrap molasses for my brown bread recipe. This is the cheapest I can find it around here. And here's just a look at their honey offerings. I will buy some of this. Sometimes they'll have some local ones for a pretty decent price. I think these are 5 pounds for $23, not raw or unrefined, so I don't often pick those up. Although quite expensive, they do have some organic dark chocolate chips here, and for a treat every once in a while, I'll pick some of those up. I do buy my cocoa or cacao powder here. They usually have some organic options, which is really nice because I haven't found it anywhere else. They do offer a lot of baking ingredients and just like different loose ingredients at a really great price, and they can do that because they buy everything in bulk and then they repackage it and then can sell it for less. So that's one way I can get a lot of ingredients at a decent price. I will sometimes buy my maple syrup here as well. It's still a pretty decent price, a little bit more expensive than Costco, although their price here fluctuates, and sometimes it's like $1 or $2 more expensive than what I just showed you there on the screen. Again, just lots of bulk items here, lots of like crackers and cookies and snack items, all just packaged down into bags. This is where I get some xanthan gum and some arrowroot powder for my baking and cooking purposes. They have lots of different types of sugar here, raw, like organic cane juice type sugar, coconut sugar, which isn't really the greatest price here. It's pretty pricey, but they have a sucanut. They have different types of raw sugar here, like different forms of raw sugar. And then, of course, brown sugar and powdered sugar, all that stuff, too. I don't buy a lot of that here unless I am in a pinch. I do, however, buy all of my yeast here. I buy it in these bulk packages, and I will buy a few at a time, and then I will just keep it in my freezer. I have used stuff from my freezer that has been 2-3 years old, and I have never had an issue with it and the quality of the rise. In our area, there aren't a lot of like health food stores that have some like alternatives for dietary restrictions, like gluten-free, and they do have like a decent section here, but it's really pricey, so I'd probably only buy these things if I was desperate. And then they have some dry goods as well, pasta, rice, beans. They also have lots of snack aisles and convenience type food. I have noticed a lot of people seem to associate Amish living with healthy living, or a healthier lifestyle. And I'm sure there are many that live a very healthy lifestyle. However, I have seen way more on the opposite side of that spectrum. I've seen lots of cartfuls of just processed foods and junk. I think oftentimes people associate them with like baking and cooking a lot from scratch, and while they may do that, that doesn't mean they're using like great ingredients when they're doing that. So Amish stores definitely don't equal health food type stores, but they do have some great options, and they are able to get things at a very reasonable price, which I am very thankful for, and I appreciate that so much. But I would love to see some healthier options in the local Amish stores. I will buy coffee here sometimes. You can see there's some organic options. I stick to only organic coffee. I'm not like a huge coffee snob. Whatever is available, as long as it's organic, I will just buy it, and that's totally fine with us. They have a nice selection of spices and some canning items. Not as much in the canning department as you would think for it being an Amish-run store, but that's okay. They do have a pretty decent price on their canning jars. I was actually just comparing their price with Walmart and the other Amish store that we'll go to a bit later. Their prices are about $1 or $2 cheaper per flat. They have a small little section here of bulk dry goods like flour and sugar. They only have one organic flour option here, which I would buy from time to time, but it's more of a whole wheat. And while that's fine, it's not our favorite flavor, especially in baking, so I have since stopped buying it here. I do always make a point to look through their freezer section. Sometimes they will have buyouts from places like Costco or even Target, and they'll have some good organic meat options. You guys know I am carnivore, so I will always pick up a whole bunch if I can find things on sale. They usually have some organic chicken sausage there that I can get for it's like one of those 4-packs of chicken sausage, and I can usually find it for 99 cents a pack, so I'll buy a whole bunch of it. They usually have these Go Macro bars here, which are organic. Not the greatest, but it is a convenience item I allow my kids to have. It's especially nice for when we're on the go, so I'll usually pick up some of those macro bars. They do also buy in some things that are not offered at a discounted price. A lot of the items actually in this store are even more expensive than if I were to go to Walmart. So usually down this aisle, and with like the cereals and stuff, not that we really even eat a whole lot of cereal, it's usually like at least $1 or $2 more expensive than Walmart. So this is the last store I'm bringing you all along with me, and it is actually Mennonite run, and it is kind of a whole lot of things in one store. There are some dry goods, some food type items, lots of holistic type medicine. They have decor, lots of cooking and baking things. And in this section, they have bulk coffee, and they have some organic options as well, which is really nice. I actually haven't tried this, and I just noticed this time. They have a wheat berry grinder there. You can grind some flour, which is really cool. But it is a nice option to have. Just haven't utilized it yet. And like I said, they have some really great holistic herbal type medicine. They have a lot of awesome tea blends, things that you will not find on the shelf at the grocery store. They have things like astragalus here and milky oat top tea, hibiscus, chaste tree berry. They have catnip. They have a whole bunch of things, which is a really awesome resource. And they have this huge resource here, this wall of holistic medicine, mostly all herbals. They do have some homeopathics here. I do use them from time to time, and it's nice to have the option to stock up here. They have some hard to find herbs. They have golden seal here, which is really hard to find. I actually just ordered 3 golden seal roots to grow them here. It's a fantastic herb, lots of benefits. They have a good selection from the Natural Hope Herbals. It's actually a company that's local to us. They use recipes from Rachel Weaver's books. I have all of her books, and they're great. I can link them down below. They have lots of colloidal silver type supplements here. I actually used their nasal spray when I was dealing with that terrible sinus infection, and it worked wonders. So I'm really, really thankful that I have this resource so close to my home. I do still shop online because it tends to be, the most cost effective, but it's nice to know that if need be, I can run up the road and grab some things from here. I have yet to really look at all they have to offer in their baking, cooking, kitchen area. Lots of cool gadgets and cookbooks, lots and lots of canning supplies and just preservation in general, things for fermentation. They have a huge inventory of cast iron, and I was pretty well obsessed with this tiny little one, which I think is completely impractical, at least for our family, so that stayed there. But lots of fun cast iron to look at. I am considering getting one of these griddles for on my stove. I thought that would be nice, and I just love my cast iron. I think I'd honestly need an entire afternoon to just look through all of their inventory. And Eleanor wasn't really wanting to do that when we were there, so I just quickly browsed through. I mean, I've been here a whole bunch of times, but it was always just to run in and grab something that I knew was there, and I just haven't really had the time to look through everything. These big old steel mixing bowls caught my eye. They're 20 and 30 quart, and I thought they would come in handy during preservation season, just harvesting in general. And I also loved the selection of jars they have here for, I can think of a million different projects I could use them for. And they did have some stainless steel bakeware here that I might come and look at. I'm trying to phase out all of my aluminum stuff. I just put parchment paper over it for now. And look at how cute this little butter keeper is. Isn't it so cute? I've been looking for a vintage one. I've yet to find one. But anyways, back to the aluminum. I've been trying to phase that out. And also, while I am thinking of it, on the topic of aluminum, I'm starting this ministry where I'm just making meals for people within my church who are in a season of need. And I want to do freezer meals, but I'm trying to think of the best way, to prepare them, what to prepare them in. And the most cost effective is just aluminum pans. Like, I can't see buying a ton of glass bakeware to be constantly giving away. So if you have any ideas there, like, should I just place some parchment paper, in the pans to line them? But is that going to get soggy and then get, mixed into the food? Let me know your thoughts on that. So again, just a really big selection of dry goods that they purchase in bulk, and then they package into smaller amounts, and they can sell it for a bit cheaper. And this store has a way bigger selection than the last one. This store is probably about, 10 to 15 times the size of the last one. And there's a whole other section of the store, which I'm not even going to take you guys through, and that's all just decor. They also have a basement where it's all buyout type stuff, things from Target and Walmart, decor type things. There's furniture, there's appliances. It's just an all sorts of stuff type of store. And this is their big wall of bulk spices and different spice mixes or dip mixes. They've got lots of those sorts of things here. These spice blends here are actually the mixes that we use to season our pork sausage. These blends are actually formulated by our friend's dad, who is very big in the health community, and they have no yucky stuff in them, which is amazing. I feel good about putting them into our organic pork sausage. We don't want to throw, additives and chemicals and natural flavoring and stuff in there. So that's really awesome that we have that resource. So we are finally getting to the section that I actually came to the store for, and that was their flour. They have lots of different types of flour here, and I was looking for organic rye flour, and I found some. So I grabbed that. I want to make some rye bread for the soup, to go with the soup this week for Matt's lunch. That is something I actually have not used before, is rye flour. So I'm excited to see how that turns out. I did want to check their powdered milk section to see if they had any A2 powdered milk, which they did not. I had said in my last video I want to start freeze drying that, and I had a few of you say I should look into Azure Standard, but the closest drop to me is about an hour and 20 minutes away, and quite honestly, I haven't found enough of their products that are a decent enough price to make the drive worthwhile for me, because I can get them so cheap at a lot of these Amish stores. So unfortunately didn't have any A2 here, so I think for now I'm just going to be freeze drying my own. Okay, my friend, that wraps up this shopping trip, and I totally ran out of footage from it, so I went searching on this SD card, and you get a couple clips of the garden from this past year, which is lovely. I am looking forward to some more color and sunshine and greenery here soon, but I hope you enjoyed coming along with me today. If this is some content you would like to see more of in the future, let me know down in the comments, as well as any questions you may have for me. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to spend with me. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love for you to be a part of our community here. You all have a blessed day, and I will see you next time. Take care.